Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're returning. Today I have a flower set for you guys, and at the end of this video I have an unboxing and some swatches. I'm swatched some acrylics for you guys that I got recently from Bomb Nails and Notpolish, and also I'm unboxing the Efile that Tao sent me. So this video will be explaining how to do these nails and that at the end. So what I'm going to do is take this white glitter that I made. I can't even remember what I mixed. Well, I kind of do. So I mixed Notpolish milky white with, well, this glows. So what I know it was milky white and clear because I wanted it to be more milky than it was. And I just don't remember how I got the glitter. I think it might have been white glitter from Notpolish, which is a glow. So I think that's what this is milky white, white glitter, and clear. I think. I don't know. I don't show the glow because it's super minimal and it wasn't really part of the set. But it was the glitter I wanted, the way it's super like fine and hollow and all that. Can't see the glitter too much in this set with the camera, but to the naked eye it was visible and I loved it. I still have some of it. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to do an ombre, but I'm kind of building it up in this area because this is going to be my apex. I'm just adding a little 1 or 2 extra beads to build up my thickness in that area, and I'm also making sure I get right up into that cuticle and melting my bead. When I say melting my bead, I mean not making it runny enough that it floods my cuticle, but soft enough that it goes into the cuticle area. And then like this right here, my brush is a little bit wet and I'm just kind of, you see what I'm doing here? I'm just kind of blending it, kind of melting it into that area. So letting it rest and then grabbing, because this is sped up, so I kind of let it rest there for a second and went in with a wet brush and just kind of melted it into that area. The acrylic where I placed the yellow and orange flower was still wet, so I just stuck those right on there, and then I'm going to do a little baby cap in clear just to hold them in place. Same with the purple one. I just put a little small bead of clear down to keep that flower where I wanted it, and since the acrylic is still wet, it was moving around a little bit. I have this little gold bow tie I'm going to stick in here. I have some glitters that I showed you guys at the beginning that I'm going to be putting on these nails as well. What I wanted for this set was just for the flowers to pop. So use some white, use some bright colors, use some clear, and a little bit of glitter, because I've said before on my channel, my problem when I do nails like this is filling in every available space, when really these nails look best when the flowers are what pops and you don't have too many things to distract them. So you might use a color at your apex like I did here, cuticle area, instead of clear, and then use the rest of the nail to show the flowers off, and with a little bit of glitter usually. But I usually pack in every available space. Every time I do a flower set, I tell myself not to do that, and as you can see, I am getting very close to filling in every bit of space. I did better on the other nails. I slowed myself down. I'm like, Jen, you're doing it again. So I'm going to do another little mini cap. I say mini cap because I'm not building my structure or strength. I'm just putting some clear on to hold the stuff I just put on the nail in place while I do the rest of my set. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but I'll show you through the rest of the set too. If it comes up, when I'm placing flowers on a nail with clear, I try to be conscious of 2 different things. Number 1, clear, maybe any acrylic, actually, I don't know, is, I guess 3 things really, is bulky. A tiny little bead goes a long way. So I try to not use so much because I don't want my nails super bulky, and I also don't want to, let me see if I can explain this, like basically have a lump in the nail where I've had to go in thick. Let me see if I can explain this better than that. If I make the bead of clear that I'm placing the flower in too big, I'm going to have to file that down, right? Well, if I am filing down clear that I've made too thick that has a flower in it, I'm probably going to get into that flower. So that I just try to avoid that. And the other thing is I try to make sure I'm watching my shape So if my clear starts like bleeding off to the side, I will make sure to clean that up. So as I'm placing flowers in clear, you guys will see me doing that, just constantly wiping my sides, keeping my shape as I go along. And the other thing, the third thing I like to do is to try to place each flower where the nail is clear, especially in its own little bead, and kind of offset them, because once the nails are filed and top coated, it kind of makes them look like they're floating. It makes them look dimensional. Like you see here, how I'm kind of making, not just for adherence, but for dimension is why I'm using, each item kind of has its own bead of clear, except for when I'm like making a spray of glitter. And this was already too much glitter here on the nail. I was annoying myself with this. And tell me, you guys, if you do this as well. So I'm trying to contain that. I just love these flowers. They're so bright. I love the little sprigs in between the petals and how they just look different from, I think I have, yeah, over there, like underneath my gem picker off to the top right, I have like regular flowers that you get from Amazon and everywhere else. They aren't as big, they aren't as flat, and these are real flowers. They're extremely delicate and hard to get out of their packaging. I got them from Claws by Kat. She doesn't sell them anymore. I did hear you can get them on Young Nails for quite an expensive price, and they are the same as these, and I think it might be AliExpress that you can also get them now. But previously, up until maybe even like 6 months ago, Claws by Kat was the only one I could ever find that sold these flowers, and it took me like 2 years to get my hands on them. So whenever I come across them in my drawer, I'm like, oh, I want to use them. And I know it's not very unique or creative to just do a flower set, but I love it. I love the pop of color. I love it with white. I love it with clear. So on these next two nails, I'm going to be doing a color block. So when you're doing a color block, you just want to work in the area that you're going to be, whatever part or shape or area, whatever color block you are doing, you want to work with a drier bead. When I say drier, I just mean not a runny bead. Still use the proper, liquid to powder ratio so that your bead and adherence is there, especially if you're doing nails that you're wearing or nails on a client. You want to make sure that you're not going in too dry so that you have the best adherence that you can get. But working in smaller, drier beads, more beads that you can do more molding or controlling, really helps. And if you're going to do a color block from the top, what I like doing is starting like I just did here, because I still have to get my cuticle bead right. I still have to form an apex, and I still have to form the bottom of my color block. So I usually am just not paying attention mostly at all to the bottom of this bead, but I'll go in with kind of a large bead so that I can have it all in one piece like you see me having here, because building it in two pieces like I just did the bottom can become hard because you're trying to avoid flooding your cuticle, but you're trying to seal your cuticle. And this area right here that I was showing you guys, you see how it's really flat and there was not enough acrylic on the side, so that's why I'm going to go in with more. And I'm only going in with enough that doesn't come down below my color block. And also, since I have already made the acrylic stop there at the color block, pulling the bead down, it doesn't come, everything's going by so fast on the screen, I'm sorry. You would think that when you pull your bead down, it's going to go past your color block and ruin it. But for some reason, your acrylic will kind of stop there if you're not really out of control, or if your beads aren't too wet or whatever. And if they don't, you just pull it up like I'm doing here. Just wipe it back up. And so what I like to do is just get the acrylic applied where I need it, how I need it, with the shape, and then I will work on my color block. Because, and when I say work on my color block, what I mean is make this line really straight and crisp. And it's actually works out good that way, because that is when the acrylic is almost dry and it's matte and it's ready to form and it's ready to hold that shape. And if you didn't know, that is when acrylic will start, or is really good to work with, color block with, 3D flowers with, if you're not using acetone, which I was not, because I'm just doing regular application. When your acrylic becomes matte and is almost set, is the best time to try to do any molding or shaping that you're trying to do. So right here, I'm just placing the nails next to each other, and making sure that my color block is even. And the only thing I'm comparing to is, at that point, that shot just a minute ago, was the bottom, the color block that I did on the top, that its bottom line was even with the other line. The beads don't have to be the same. They don't have to have the same apex or height or anything like that. It's strictly just, I was strictly just comparing if the lines matched each other, and I'm going to do the same on the bottom. So right here, I need to pull this down because it's not matching. Also, I'm really making sure I keep it off the sides, and you can even see the clear edge of my tip around this bead, and that's because as soon as I start filing, that will go away and I will be left with a nice narrow shape. And so even though I'm doing work, so to speak, on these nails, I'm encapsulating things, I'm color blocking, I'm still paying attention to my shape the entire time. This nail is going to be solid flowers, and because I have a pinky nail that's small, and because I need to encapsulate with clear and still have my shape and build my form and have things in their own bead and not be too runny and make the nail wide and bulky and everything, I'm just going in with very small wet beads of clear, and kind of, as you see me doing here, I'm kind of letting the beads just melt all around the flower. And when I first started doing flower sets, I would spend, I don't know, a half hour or more trying to make sure that those little sprigs that are sticking out from the side there, I would drive myself crazy trying to make sure those laid down. These flowers that are laying flat and not laying flush, or maybe why am I putting more flowers on this? That would have been enough. I don't know why I do this to myself every single time. But anyway, they came out cute. I want to say adhering, but that's the wrong word because obviously they are adhering. But I mean like bending to the shape of the nail. They're not curving. They're not curving over the sides, okay? I would have added clear, added clear, added clear, added clear till my nail was literally a monster to try to get those things laying flat, laying clear, and that's just not necessary. You see all this stuff that I have hanging off the sides over here? Just go in with your clear. Just cap. Grab a baggie. This was just a regular sandwich baggie that you saw me cut. And when your acrylic is almost dry, not when it's super wet, because if you do this when your acrylic is super wet and you've just laid it on, and especially if you've done like a big bead or a runny bead, this will just squirt the acrylic all up your cuticle and everywhere else. If you do this when your acrylic is almost dry and matte, you see what happens is it will hold it in place, it will flatten those flowers, it will curl them around the edges, and look, now I have nothing sticking out. If you don't feel like doing that, feel like getting out a piece of plastic doing that, I mean, it doesn't take any time at all, and it really helps the shape of your nail. So it's really easy to do, as you can see, but it's actually not necessary. If you just want to cap these, by the time you're doing your shaping, you, worst case scenario, might file one of those little sprigs that's hanging off the edge off. As long as your nail is sealed, like the objects on your nail is sealed, which even if they're not 100% sealed with acrylic, like let's just say one of the sprigs was sticking off right now and I file it, well, I'm still going to go in with top coat, which is gel, which I'm going to cure around that flower. So try not to stress if you're new on doing all of that when you're trying to encapsulate stuff, because you'll learn as you go. It's just really not necessary and you don't need to stress so much. Just get it on the nail and keep it moving. Now, before I start adding flowers to the clear, because that's what I'm doing with these clear, with the clear center of these nails, I'm going to be putting flowers in them. And when I am done putting flowers in them, obviously I will need to cap that area. And I will need to bring the clear acrylic that I'm capping with up to the level of the white that I've color blocked already. If I did not go in and file at this point these 4 little sections of dry acrylic, I would be making my nail thicker than I actually want it, because I haven't filed this yet, if that makes sense. So yes, I'm not even done capping these nails, I'm not even having put the flowers on, I'm by far not done with these nails, so why am I filing? Well, because of that. I want these to be in the shape that, for the most part, in the shape that I want them to be finished, because when I bring my level of clear up to the level of this, when I have to file, I'm going to have to take that down, and then I'm definitely going to dig into my flowers, because that's the whole point. Like, that's exactly what I will be putting in the middle are my flowers. I hope I said that right. So if you're doing color blocking like this, even with acrylic Frenchies, it's the same concept. Acrylic Frenchies, what I mean is making a false nail bed. If you don't know what that means, let me know. But same concept. You're going to file that before you go in with the rest of your set, because what you do with your nail after this is being built between that. So that's like the start of your structure, so you have to have that right to not mess up what you're doing next. Hopefully I said that right. I also told myself I was only going to put 2 or 3 flowers in the center of these so that it was just the color that popped. And I'm like, I'm not going to put any glitter, and then I went in with glitter. But also I'm using wet beads here, but not so wet that they're running off the sides, wet enough that I can control them and keep my items in place with the clear. And right here, I'm just gluing these things down. I'm not going to cap or bring these nails up to the level of my color block right now. Right now, I'm just doing the design. So I'm only using enough clear to lay down the products, just like I did on the rest of the nails. Of course, I'm going to do that later, but I'm not concerned with that now. That's not what I'm doing now. I'm just building the nail, and as you see, filling in every available space. It's funny because I told you guys at the beginning that I did good for the most part in not doing that. Now see right here how I have some of the clear lobbing over the sides? I can completely ignore that and go on to my next flower. If I were a newbie, that's probably what I would do. I would not be paying attention to whether that bead was drying off the side of my nail, and I would have a mess to clean up on filing. So if you keep your shape while you're working, it's really, really going to be helpful. But yeah, I guess I did not keep these nails clear for the most part. They came out so cute, and it was such an easy set, and I just didn't know what to do this day, where I think I have 6 videos for you guys, and I have a set I just put on yesterday that I need to go do the design on right now. So that will either make 6 or 7. I can't keep up with the videos. The videos, I can't keep up with the nail designs I'm doing. I don't know how to say that. So now here is where I'm going to fill in most of the space with kind of a wet bead, because I don't want it to be cloudy and I don't want it to have a bunch of air bubbles. So I'm just going in with a pretty wet bead that I'm just, as you can see, kind of smearing around. When you do that, it also helps the acrylic, the clear, like soak into the little crevices in and around and on the sides of your glitter and everything else. And you can already see, like from doing that, that these flowers will look like they're floating because of that, which is kind of cool. Glitter too. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, I don't know why I do this to myself either. The pinky nail. I should have chose that design where the nail just has flowers on it for my index, thumb, ring, any other finger but the pinky, because I still have to cap that whole nail. They are anchored in place with clear. They're good to go as far as they aren't going anywhere, but I can't file. I've got to cap. So here I have the most narrow, skinny nail on my whole hand, loaded down with all these flowers that have to be capped. Yeah, when I was done with these nails were they felt so heavy. But it's just yelling summer at me. Now this clear application on the pinky, I am not going to, nor do I need to, hold this down with the baggie, because I'm just capping. Capping meaning encapsulating, meaning sealing these in, and also building out the rest of the shape of my nail, because this only has the flowers and clear, enough clear on it to hold the flowers down. So now I'm into capping, and I just have this sped up like 2 times, I think, and then I go and speed it up like 8 times. This is sped up really fast. And as I was watching this, when I tried it out, I was like, let's see what this looks like when I really, really speed it up. And you know what? It actually, since it's going faster, helps you see exactly what I'm doing with each bead. Like when you're going slower, it kind of gets like you kind of go cross-eyed with here's another bead, another bead, another bead. But when it's faster like this, you can actually see the shape coming together and what I'm doing with each bead. I don't know, for some reason, this being sped up like this, it was easier to see what I was actually doing. This nail, I'm not sure if I cut it out or not, but I think either I go back and put another bead on top of those flowers that was not necessary, or I didn't leave that in because I did have to file that off. I remember I went in too much. And you saw that really wet bead I just put. That was because I needed some on my sides, and I don't want to spend half an hour wiping my sides off. So, yeah, that's it. I think I'm done capping, and when I capped the white, the ones that are color blocked in the middle, I didn't put any clear acrylic except possibly, I wouldn't say any, I put a very thin layer of clear acrylic on the white just to bring everything to one level and make them like uniform. But since I'm working with not polished acrylics, they're buildable, I don't need to cap them, and I had already filed them, remember, to the thickness that I wanted them. So see how, since this is sped up, you can actually see the beads forming and the shape coming together, and I liked it. So after this, off camera, I shape, I top coat, I do cuticle bling. You guys have seen all of that a million times, so I didn't show it. I'm using stain resistant top coat because these are clear and white nails, so of course you want a stain resistant top coat, especially if you're doing clients. So that's what's going on here, is I already have them top coated, I already have the bling done, and I'm going with a second thin layer of top coat because I just want to smooth out any little bubbles or divots or anything, just to give it a final coat, as well as make sure that any of the glue that I used for the bling isn't like sitting there in a puddle that you can see. When I top coated these the first time off camera, I did top coat underneath the nails because we have clear and flowers and glitter. First, I'm going to wipe my sides before I put this in the lamp, and when I come back, these nails are done. I'm just going to go in with some disco liner number 10, the purple from Notpolish, and just very thinly outline the color blocking I did. So just want to show you guys this. I did not think I would ever use it, didn't want it. This is Notpolish's polish shaker. For what purpose? I don't use gels, but you guys, every time I use a gel liner, a gel pod, I've been sticking it in this machine and it makes a difference, because you don't realize how much glitter has settled to the bottom. You don't realize how much pigment has settled to the bottom, like in anything you're using. That thing is so handy and so easy, and I use it almost every time I do a set, actually. I love it. It's pretty heavy and big and sturdy and heavy duty, and it will scoot across the table because it's really shaking. I have definitely heard that, and it might be why they have named it polish shaker instead of gel shaker. It may just be for nail techs who are in the salon still using air dry polish for clients that don't want to pay for gel, you know, top coat or whatever the case may be. But because shaking gels too much can put air bubbles in your gel, and that makes sense to me. That seems like it's totally true, but I've definitely used it with gels and never had that issue. So to my knowledge, it doesn't put bubbles in your gel, or I haven't had that experience anyway. So after that, I'm just going to crisp up my shape around all the edges. I'm going to give a real crisp cut to my free edge, put on some cuticle oil, and we are finished. We're going to get right into this unboxing as soon as this is done. And this is the set, you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I have this video out late today, but I'm still here. It's still Thursday. Alright, so here we are into the unboxing. Tao sent me this, my other one. I thought my other one broke, but I actually figured out that it's just like a little technicality. It still works, but the one she sent me has the same technicality, by the way. It works. I was so grateful, and how kind of her. I let her know that mine broke, and I was trying to ask her if I could add it to an order I thought I was going to place, and she just so nicely said, well, let me send you one, and simple as that. So I will unbox that for you at the end. So this, I did let you guys know in the corner there that this is a glow color, and randomly I whip this out like when I'm in the middle of swatching another color and show you guys the glow, but it's pretty intense. So this is from obviously their glow collection, and it is obviously also a nude, but you can use it for like an orange or a tan or a brown, and it's a much more peachy tone. So I have these few colors to show you, and then I also have some glitters from Bomb Nails that I've had for a while but just have never swatched for you guys. And I'm just going to chat while these are going on. So you guys have seen swatches a million times, but maybe you'll see a color you like. I don't know. I always like to put in colors I get because I will get a message 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, from someone new to my channel saying, hey, do you have where you swatch these colors? I'm like, oh my gosh. And sure enough, I will. So I always make sure to swatch everything for you guys. And to my knowledge, especially, well regarding Notpolish anyway, I have a swatch of everything. Sarah brought to my attention, and I had kind of been noticing this myself. So any of their colors that start with a G in their name, it means it's a glow. Anyway, my swatch rings, like, okay, colors that are super light, like Blissful Purple. That is a purple from Notpolish that has a tiny little bit of shimmery glitter, and it is a very, very, very pale, pale, pale lilac, very pale purple. Well, when I grab my swatch ring, because my swatches are about 2 years old, they've been hanging on the wall, they're catching sunlight, everything else. Well, acrylic is made for us to wear on our nails for, what, 4 to 6 weeks max? They're not made to withstand sunlight and hold their color and shape and everything else or whatever. They're not made for longevity. So 2 years later, a lot of my swatch sticks are not the right color anymore. They're faded. So I don't know if it's just in particular, here's that glow. I don't know if it's just in particular, that's just the nature, that's what they do, because after 2 years they're faded. I mean, who knows, because no one's wearing acrylic for that long. We only know that it lasts long enough to stay the bright color we put on when we did the nails 4 weeks ago, you know? So yeah, a lot of my swatch sticks have lost color. That lilac color I was just describing to you, the Blissful Purple, when I look at that right now, it literally looks white. There's no purple to it whatsoever. I am in no way planning on re-swatching all of my stuff. That's a huge undertaking. But I have been working with these products for so long that I know when I look at that Blissful Purple, that's not the color it is. That it's not a white glitter, it is a soft lavender. But these newer ones, definitely swatching those because they're new. And I haven't had them before, so I need to know what they look like. This is one of their jellies. If you get one of their colors that starts with CC, like CC 101, CC 102, that means candy coated. So anything that is a sheer jelly color comes from their candy coated collection, which is why they say CC in front of them. So anything that says CC in front of it is a jelly acrylic. And this is their jelly nude and or peach, which I've never seen before. Now, I thought I had all the jellies except for like a couple random ones like this, like a peach, a nude, whatever, but I have never had this yellow. 5 years and have never had this yellow, because on the website it doesn't look like this beautiful lemon pudding color like it looks here. This literally looks like pie filling to me, like I want to go eat some lemon pie right now. So yeah, I've never used this in a set. I just used black licorice for you guys in that one set with the black flowers, the sheer black, and I just did a set with lilac lolly, which is the candy coated jelly purple. I have not posted that video yet, but I did post the shorts. I'm sure you guys know which set I'm talking about. But I've literally never used the yellow in any set, nor have I owned it. So, I think I'm going to be doing a Fimo set with fruits. And I can't decide if I'm going to be doing it with clear or with different colors from the candy coated collection. Since I just did 2 sets of jelly colors, and since I got the jelly collection, Notpolish sent me the jelly gels, the gummy gels. So the jelly gel polishes, saying jelly and gel a lot. There's also a set coming up with that are also jelly. So I'm kind of torn on whether I should use the jelly colors to match and offset the Fruit Fimo, or if I should just go in with clear. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments what you would like to see, because for me, I don't care if I've used it 5 times. I didn't use the yellow, I didn't use the green, you know what I mean? I didn't use the blue, etc. So I've never bought this glitter, and you guys, I got these months ago, like I mentioned. I just haven't swatched them for you yet. It's called Material Girl. I'm an 80s girl, I'm a Madonna girl. I love black acrylic, I love the hollow glitter. Kendra would have literally stood on her back. I mean, you know, like did a handstand, stood on her neck to have this color, because these glitters are not silver. The camera isn't picking it up yet. I do show it to you at the end, but all of these glitter pieces are hollow. Kendra's favorite thing was glitter, favorite thing was hollow, and favorite color is black. So had I known, excuse me, about this acrylic, I would have bought it years ago. I had no idea, because also it doesn't look like that on the website. So this is why I show you guys the swatches and my swatch rings and things like that, because websites, no matter what kind of company it is or how good they are, it's just super duper hard to show accurate colors, glitters from just a little nail swatch that's a photo on the internet. You know, it's just harder to tell and harder to see. So since these are dry and labeled, I'm putting them back in my swatch rings. And look at all these gorgeous nudes, you guys. Ugh. A lot of these I don't even use for nudes. I use them for browns or pinks. Love. So now I'm into the Bomb Nails swatching. I just got 4 glitters from her, which I think it was her 50% off sale a few months ago I took advantage of. Or 40% or something. And so cute. She has some of the best glitters. I think all of my unique glitters I have in my collection are from her and Kairose Nail Supply. Oh, and of course, Secret Nail Affair. And I see a lot of people getting some really good glitters from Nail House. I've never bought any glitters from Nail House myself. Only a couple of covers, and they were just, you know, okay acrylics. Nothing I was super impressed with. Secret Nail Affair, I don't even know if she has a website up anymore. I don't know. When I've gone there to try to order to replace a pink that I have from them that I really love, it just directed me to like an empty domain site, and so that just means they don't even own that webpage anymore. So, and that was when I was still in Tucson. That's been at least 6 months, so maybe she's back up by now. I know she did have a granddaughter, so maybe she just took time off. I don't know. But if you guys didn't know, Secret Nail Affair also has some amazing glitters. And I don't have any glitters like this. I do have glitters that have pigment in them like this from Notpolish, and that are similar in like the hexagonal shapes and everything, but not these colors. Definitely not these colors. The glitters I have from Notpolish from their OMG collection are some of the colors are absolutely beautiful. But for some reason they're just not, well, I think they're more of a solid acrylic company and more like about the working nail tech, you know, techs working in salons who need covers, nudes, that kind of thing. So everyone says and asks me to let Tao and Mikey and everyone know, please add some glitters to your site. And so I have communicated that to them more than once. So hopefully they will come out with some unique glitters next. And maybe that's just not something they're going to do. I don't know. But I do order, when I want a unique glitter, I usually go for Kairose Nail Supply, Bomb Nails, and used to be Secret Nail Affair, but I haven't been able to get anything from them lately. So next is going to be the Efile. I briefly told you guys the story. I thought my Efile was broke. There was a 25% off sale for Father's Day, and I had placed an order already. You can only use the code once. This glitter is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I want to just bathe in it. So I had placed an order, used my 25% off code, stuff hadn't shipped yet, same day, literally like about an hour later I go to use my Efile, and the prongs aren't lifting up from the chuck. It's accepting a bit, it's working, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I just broke my Efile. You know, the $300 Efile, it's the best piece of equipment I have, it's slick, it's quiet, it's literally my favorite nail thing. I love it. So I was completely like heartbroken, and I had already used my code, and I don't have a spare Efile. I used to keep a spare Efile, and I at this time did not have one. I have a spare now because I learned my lesson. So I messaged Tao to see if if she could find a way to swing it that if I could add an e-file to my order and still get the 25% off. You know, can you help me out there? And she just simply said, girl, let me send you one, which I might have mentioned on another video, but here it is. She sent me a white one. It's absolutely gorgeous. Excuse me. And it was so kind of her. Like, how freaking nice, you know? I want to say really quick, out of all the stuff that Notpolish has ever sent me over the years, they have never one time asked me to post with any of the stuff. Like, we're sending you blank, we need you to post three places, Instagram, TikTok, you know, like, even like just Born Pretty or Melody Susie does. Hashtag us this, the video needs to be this long, boop, 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 none of that. Never. They've never asked any of that, and I just love that about them. It's just that they are giving and amazing that way. So the e-file comes with a 2-year warranty, 2-year or 1 year, I can't remember, I'm sorry. But a warranty, these bits, all the parts you need to use it, the silicone base, which I love. That silicone base doesn't move on your table. It keeps it right in place. It keeps it tilted at an angle. This thing is so quiet, so powerful. I'm going to turn it on for you guys so you can hear how silent it is. And you can turn your volume all the way up. I bet you're not even going to be able to hear anything. It makes almost no noise. The handpiece does not vibrate. It doesn't get hot. My hands used to go completely numb when I would remove Kendra's sets with my Melody Susie. Even though that e-file lasted me a long time and did a great job, it was definitely not this. So if you guys want to treat yourself for Christmas, they usually put these in their mystery boxes. They also have really good sales throughout the year, or you could use my code, which is Jen. I'll put it up on the screen here. And here I will turn this on for you. Had on earbuds, you probably heard that slightest little buzzing sound that it makes. It's just so quiet. The face also lights up just like one of their lamps, like their rechargeable lamp. And that's it, you guys. This is the end of the video. Thank you for being here with me on this Thursday. I will see you guys Sunday. Hope you liked the nails. I'm just showing you guys how to do the warranty. It literally takes 30 seconds. So easy. You go on the website, right there to the warranty page. You enter your serial number and where you bought it and the date, and you're done. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.